I'm Ryan Ferguson, and my theme throughout 1984 was manipulation. Manipulation is a huge factor in society today, just as it is in 1984. Throughout the book, the government, the party, and Big Brother all do their best to manipulate and control everything the people of Oceania see and do. This is a factor in today's society. An example is the huge mobile carriers that pop up on your television screen as you see commercials featuring AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, and T-Mobile. For example, if Verizon is advertising that they have the most LTE coverage nationwide, that puts them up on a pedestal in your mind. I think, hey, Verizon is on top and they're the best, I should look up to them. So then when an AT&T commercial comes on and you see, well, AT&T has less coverage, but they also have lower payments and lower fees. Well, you think, well, for AT&T, I'm paying less to get less. So I want Verizon, which is on top. And it makes people think that Verizon is what they want to strive for and what they want to be. It's almost like a brainwash, but through advertisements, all these phone companies will do their best to manipulate people into thinking what they want you to think about their company and their product versus what their rival companies are doing. Winston states throughout the book that all they know is the party. So all the people know is that the party is in charge. They have everything under control and they are what's best for the people. They're not notified of anything other than what the party wants them to hear, and that Big Brother is always watching. A quote from a Prezi says, "The party seeks to control everything, modifying history for their own gain." So they will wipe out any sort of records or modify any sort of books to let people know that only stuff in the past has been good for the party. Nothing has ever been challenging for them, and nothing has ever gone not their way, because they are in control and people should know that they are in control. A good relation to this, the party uses propaganda with signs saying like Big Brother is always watching throughout the novel. This relates to the Yankees, the New York Yankees, a Major League Baseball team they have one of the most storied franchises in all of professional sports. They'll use propaganda, whether it be on Twitter feeds or throughout the streets of New York, that the Yankees have this many championships, and here's this Yankees legend that's in the Hall of Fame. Even if they're having a down season, that will let you know that, hey, the Yankees might not be as good this year, but they are the storied franchise and everybody wants to be like them. And that relates to 1984, as propaganda gives you no time for thought, and it puts that message in your mind that, well, hey, but the party must think this, so why don't I think it? Furthermore, 2 Minutes Hate is where all the people are gathered together to watch images of the party's enemies, and they develop a strong hatred for these people, just as the party does. And it's like, so if you're sitting in a horror movie with all your friends and you're waiting for that monster or ghost to jump out, when it finally does go, after you've been sitting on the edge of your seat, and the monster finally jumps out, you all get the same reaction and get a sense of unity together. And you walk out of the theater and say, everybody agrees, oh wow, that movie is really scary. So it's the same effect they use with 2 Minutes Hate, just how the party wants it to be. They all develop the same feelings for the enemies of the party, and they all unify, and it makes them feel like, okay, the party must be right about these people, and I should think that as well. A quote says, 2 Minutes Hate alienates individuality and thought. That's from a Prezi as well. So it takes away from people's individual thought and how they feel about what the party does, and it's another reiteration of the party is right and I should look up to them. There are obviously it's less malicious than in some countries than it is today in this world. It's kind of relatable to North Korea and how they manipulate their people, but a lot less violent. Obviously, there's not as much killing and starving as there is in certain countries around the world. they just use a message to get their point across. So basically, it relates to 1984, as in there's not even if there's not a malicious intent behind it, the manipulation factor is spread all throughout today's world through businesses and separate countries.